everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm gonna be making a video on my favorite perfumes. I've been wanting to do a video like this for so long. Actually, I've kind of made it, but the last one didn't work out so well, so I'm kind of remaking it now because I just love to talk about perfumes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I remember that in my 15-year-old birthday I got lots of perfumes as presents, as gifts, because in Brazil it's like a tradition. I think that in the USA or North America it's something like Sweet 16, but here in the South, or at least in Brazil, I don't know if all the South, but here in Brazil it's like the 15-year-olds, like the one thing the marks, and that was the one that like I got to get lots of presents and I got to buy lots of perfumes. My 15-year-old birthday I got two of the perfumes that I to this day consider one of my favorites, all-time favorites. So I'm just gonna start by the one that I like the least in my collection to the one that I like the most in my collection. It's okay, so let's get started. And my least favorite out of this 22 is the current Echoes Maracujá. As you can tell, it's pretty much full. I almost do not use it. This was a favorite, like a fragrance that I really liked, and I just bought it, but I just got bored of it very fast, so I don't know. It's a passion fruit kind of fragrance from a Brazilian brand called Natura, which I love because everything about their products is so very tropical and awesome and very naturalistic in a kind of ecological way. That's, you know, the way that it's called. And I just bought this. I do like, because passion fruit is very soothing and calming, and I do like to kind of use it sometimes to sleep or after the shower, but it's overly sweet and I do not use it all that much, but it brings me good memories, therefore I keep it in my collection, you know. So my current 21st place is Girl of Now by Lisa, but this was one of my most expensive fragrances that I ever bought. It was freaking expensive, and I don't know, at the time I was in love with it, but again, it's so overwhelmingly sweet that I just got bored of it real fast. I just, you know, I don't know, I don't use it so much because I feel overwhelmed. It's too sweet. I bought it because it has pistachio notes, and there was a time in my life a few months ago there was like going through a phase in my life where I was just in love with pistachio. I still am in this phase, I think, but this perfume kind of, you know, went a little bit too far. However, it is nice, it is good, it's just a little bit too much for me, you know. However, it's lovely. It is. And I cannot get over this freaking amazing bottle. Just look at this. You know, this is it. It's so amazing. It's like flower, and, you know, it's a heavy bottle. And I cannot take it to places because it's way too heavy to travel with. Anyway, next one is again another pistachio fragrance. You know, it has a note of pistachio, like a pistachio hint. This is Le Petit Homme Noir by Klein. This is a more fresh kind of fragrance, and I really like it. It's more for like not very formal activities. I use it to work sometimes when I don't want to be like, I want to kind of like go unnoticed. You know, this is not a very remarkable fragrance, but I love it. It's very feminine and sweet, and it's kind of like an adolescent kind of perfume, and I like it. It's not too sweet, it's just nice, you know. It reminds me of Paris, obviously, because pistachio reminds me of Paris, and this whole thing is so cute. It is cute, not very remarkable, just a nice fragrance. For summer especially, it's real nice. Next one, this one. This is Lancome La Nuit Drizzle. I bought this from a cousin because she bought it, and, you know, she liked it, but she didn't like it all that much. And I don't know, I like it. I think I'm beginning to like it more, which is like weird. In the beginning I was like too overwhelmed by it, but now I'm like a little bit more used to it. It's very, very remarkable. It's the opposite of the last perfume. It's actually way too remarkable. It's too sweet, too overpowering, too wow. It's very gourmand, and it's very intense and exotic. I don't know what goes in this, but it's sweet and it's fruity, but it's I don't know. I cannot tell you exactly what the notes are. I'm probably gonna search them up and just leave them somewhere here if I know how to do this, because I'm not so sure if I can edit some stuff in here. I just see people doing this in their videos, and I suppose that I will get to make this, but you know, I'm not an expert in editing, and this is like all new to me, but I'm gonna try, okay? So yeah, there's this, and again, awesome bottle. It's like a diamond, I think, or a crystal, or some jewelry, some jewel. It's nice and it's pretty, but oh, and I get lots of compliments when I use this, but way too much for me, you know. Okay, so the next one is this awesome one. It's very full. I'm not so sure if you can see, but this one brings me lots of good memories back, because I used to use a fragrance very similar to this one when I was just beginning my bookaholic lifestyle, you know. So I don't know, it's such an amazing feeling, and this one brings me back to that time. And it smells like fantasy world, as the name says. This is Britney Spears Fantasy fragrance. Sure if I said the name or not. And Midnight. Britney Spears Midnight Fantasy fragrance. And this one is very fun. Like, it's not too much, like, it's not too daring, it's very innocent. And it's very playable, you know, it's like playful. I don't know, I like to use it when I'm going out with friends, or when I'm like movie night or stuff like that. It's like a really fun fantasy kind of fragrance that I like to have around, and it comes out handy. Next one is again a very fun fragrance. You know, there are fragrances that remind you of people, of places, of feelings. This one reminds me of a song, and that song is Accidentally in Love. I'm not sure the name of the band that sings it right now, but it says there is a part about strawberry sorbet in that song, and this is it, because this smells like strawberry sorbet so much. I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at myself all the time. Sorry for this. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a strawberry sorbet kind of fragrance, and wow. Anytime that I wear this, I get asked, who's eating strawberries, or strawberry cookies, or strawberry sorbet around, or there was legit one time that I was, you know, I just came into the room and someone said, who's eating strawberry cookies? And because it smells very chemical-like, and it's not like a fresh strawberry, it's a very sweet strawberry, but so good. I love this thing. This is a Splash. It's a very big fragrance. It has like double the size of most fragrances, more than double the size of most fragrances. It's a Brazilian brand called Água de Cheiro, which means like kid smelling water. I'm not so sure if this is it, the real translation, but something like that, you know. And it's called Crazy Strawberry Feelings. Obviously, strawberry feelings, you'll kind of say it in Portuguese anyway. I don't use it very much here, because I feel like this is more like a winter time for a day kind of fragrance, because it's not very, you know, it's not long lasting. It does fade away very easily and quickly, and but it's too sweet, so it's very feminine for like young girls, teenagers, very fun again. And it's a Splash, so it doesn't last very long, but it's so sweet, and everybody's gonna notice you and maybe wanna actually eat you like you're edible. Yeah. So the next one is like love and hate between us two. This is Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. The original one is to this day one of my all-time favorite fragrances, but this one is the new version. And the new version is good. I like it. It's a very good perfume, but it's not the original one. And I miss the original one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I like it. I get lots of compliments when I use this. It's very chic and sophisticated and wow and rich and long-lasting and everything, but the original one was even better. Wow, this is really, really fancy. This is the fancy fragrance, and I love it. As you can tell, I used a lot of it, and I'm kind of saving it now. I'm like, sometimes I want to use it, but I'm like, nah, I want to save it. You know, when like perfume, you do that. But I don't know. I wish the original one came back. Agree with me? I'm not so sure if I said it, but if I didn't, Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. I think I did. Okay. All my perfumes are like dirty with makeup. I'm just seeing this now. This is again another Brazilian fragrance perfume called Mary Kay Modern Charm. This is yet another girly, light-hearted, like fresh kind of fragrance. But I love this because it has patchouli. Most of my favorite fragrances have patchouli as one of their notes because I just love this thing. Patchouli, jasmine, roses, these are favorites of mine. And this one has patchouli, but it's like a fun, fresh fragrance. So, wow, it's so good. I bought this just a few weeks ago. I think maybe 2 months max, and it's almost ending already because I actually use this a lot. I love to use this to work, to go to the mall, to go, out, and it makes me feel confident and pretty and blah. I love it. Oh, next thing, it's a compliment gather. Definitely the compliment gather, the summer fragrance. So this is my favorite one for traveling, for summertime, for pool area, for beach, for anything under the sun. And I'm talking about Ralph Lauren Love. So I've had the Ralph Lauren, just the original like blue one, and I've used it for the longest time. Sincerely, I cannot really tell the big difference between that one and this one. I just know that this one is not too citrusy. The other one's a little bit more citrusy, and this one's a little bit more sweet. However, this is not a sweet fragrance. Sorry for saying more sweet. I think it's sweeter. How do you say? Whatever. And this is the tiny version because I like to travel around with it, and I do get like overwhelmed by fragrances really easily, especially ones like this. They are so much overpowering, and it's a very clean kind of smell, very fresh. It has notes of stuff that I don't know, but it does make me feel like I've just gotten a shower. And oh, this is summer in a bottle, actually. I love it. Next fragrance is a fragrance that is not in its original bottle. The bottle of this is from a Brazilian brand called Quem Disse Berenice. Existe Amor Namora, which translates as there's love and the... Let's search it up here. So, like, there's love and this kind of berry. I ended this because, well, it's a good fragrance. Very sweet and nice, but it's not a favorite. It's just, however, I love this because I can take this in my purse. It's like 7 ml. Probably 2 ounces. I'm not so sure if I'm right in this. But probably something around 2 ounces. And I like to take this in my purse because it's just so small. And, well, I love it. This bottle. However, what do I take inside here? It's a Brazilian brand fragrance from O Boticário called Hair. And it does smell like Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. And it's not exactly alike, but it's a little bit alike, and it's very strong, it's very girly, it has patchouli. I love it. I actually love it. It's very strong again and long lasting, and I like to have this in my purse as an emergency kind of fragrance. Okay, next thing, again from that same brand that I just mentioned, O Boticário, which is one of Brazilian's biggest kind of fragrance and cosmetics kind of brand, and I just love their stuff. And this next one is called Bahoko Tropical. This is yet another fragrance that reminds me of Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel because it has patchouli, it has lots of notes that kind of are similar to that fragrance. Wow, this one is nice. It also reminds me of another fragrance that I used a long time ago. It's called Jaffa. I'm not so sure of the name of it. Probably gonna put it around here somewhere. And it's like Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel matte summertime. Not a fragrance called summertime, just matte summertime, and became brighter and fresher, and it's just very light-hearted, and I just love this. I love this. My all-time favorite for work. It's long-lasting. I get to the end of the day and I still feel it in my body, and wow, it's just warm and nice, and it makes me feel confident and strong, and I love this thing. I do love this one. Okay, now we're getting into my favorites territory because we're actually getting into the actually favorite smell. So this one is the Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. This one was like blew my mind, kind of fragrance. I know that this is very mainstream in like the exterior of Brazil, like in Europe and the USA, people use this a lot. But you know that song from Haley Stanfield, which like most girls. You know that song? I feel like that song when I use this because I don't care smelling like most girls. Most girls are real nice. And I just love this thing. I smelled it once in one of my teachers and I was like mind blown, I started like chasing her around, in her trail just to keep smelling this thing because it was otherworldly good. And this is otherworldly good. It has lots of patchouli and jasmine and rose and stuff that I cannot mention because they are way too awesome to put in words. And wow, this smells like most absolute confidence and, like you're the richest girl on the planet. I feel like this when I use this. It lasts forever, like forever. Usually I use this to go to proms, like every prom I use this is like my official prom kind of fragrance. Only there was one prom that I used a different one. I'm just remembering stuff. So this one is the one that I apply and I leave home as, maybe 8 p.m. Then I'll come back 4 a.m. and this is still on as I've just put it on. As if I had just sprinkled it on, it's unbelievably long lasting. And I really love it. Okay, next one is actually the opposite, but I kind of like it. I don't know, it's not real like a podium here. Like, I'm not so sure if I like this one better than the one that I've just talked before, but so this one does not last that long. It's actually very volatile and, well, it's again from that brand, Brazilian brand, not Boticário, but Natura, which is the more like ecological brand. Not that the Boticário is not, but I know that the interiors are very ecological. This one is called Humor, and this is Humor 5, which is the pink bottle. They have like lots of different Humor fragrances. They all have this kind of bottle, and they have all the different colors, and there are some that I love, there are some that I hate, and there are some that I am absolutely fascinated by, which is like this one. This is a very sweet kind of fragrance, however very fancy and very like, I'm not so sure of the word for this, but it's very like, I don't know, guarded or something like that. It's not too overwhelming. It's like you will get people's attention, but not in a very bad way. It's like, it's very comfortated. Is this a word in English? I think it is. Well behaved. Yeah, it's very well behaved fragrance. And it smells like cherries. It smells like cherries and white chocolate and white flowers. And it's just indescribably good. I remember first time I smelled this was the winter of 2009. And I was forever hooked. Forever hooked. Every time that it's winter, I just like to have this on because it does bring me memories of rain and, fanciness and sweetness, and it's just adorable. It's actually adorable, this one. Bad thing that it doesn't last that long, but, I just feel my most feminine. Of all the fragrances that I have, this is the one that makes me feel my most feminine. And I get lots of compliments when I use it. Okay, so next, go for my next one. Oh, this is a compliment getter. The compliment getter, I think. This is the compliment getter. So this is Armani Code Zatan. Zatan, and I'm saying it's like in Jeremy Fragrance kind of style because, I'm not gonna call it Satan. And it's not Satan. It's satin. I don't know how to say this because, in Portuguese, this means a very bad name. If you say it like my aunts and my grandma say it, because they were the ones that gave me this for my birthday present, my birthday gift of last year. And I love that this bottle kind of starts like almost like pink, then it gets red, then orange in the middle. Anyway, what am I talking about? Let's talk about the fragrance. This is a very exotic kind of fragrance. It has praline. I know this. I don't know what is praline. I actually know what is praline, but I'm not so sure. And It has praline, but it has lots of woodsy, vibrant notes, and this is a compliment getter. I ride Ubers a lot here where I live because I do not drive, and I get more than once I got a compliment on this when I got in an Uber, and I was like, weird. I don't want to be complimented by an Uber when I'm in a Uber, you know. But that's what happened when you use a really, really good fragrance, and it does make me feel very confident and very woman, like grown up woman, kind of like what is this? Just invented this word. Anyway, I love this thing. Actually, I have my next place is again the same fragrance, but not quite exactly the same. It's another Money Code, which is the original one. I like this one even better because this is a more like almost masculine fragrance. It's more like I don't know. In the beginning, it kind of hit me as it's masculine fragrance because it has some. I can't tell what this is, but there's something that's very fresh and revigorating and vibrant in this fragrance that is almost masculine, however, very womanly and sensual, you know. I cannot explain this. This is very good and very again, what's the word? Very well behaved. This is a well-behaved fragrance because I feel confident to use this in my job. I feel confident to travel with this. I feel confident to go to parties with this. I feel confident to use this in the summer, in the winter. It's a very well-behaved fragrance. It makes you feel comfortable and cozy and confident. So, 3 words in the sea in a row. Wow, this is lovely. I get compliments a lot when I use this. And my next fragrance is actually the same one, but I like it so much that I bought the baby version. I bought the baby version of it so I can take it in my purse, and I do take this in my purse every single day. This is the 0.3 ounces version. No, sorry, am I just inventing stuff? This is the 30 ml 1 ounce. And so this thing is awesome, and I like having it with me because during the day I will reapply it because it does not last very long. This one, I like the way that this one smells better, but this one lasts so much longer. This one lasts, I'd say, at least 6 hours, and this one lasts 4 hours max. So, you know, yeah. So we're getting into real favorites territory now. This top sixth place goes to Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf. First time I smelled this, my sister bought one for her. This is the Eau de Toilette version. My sister bought one for her when we went to Paris in 2013. I didn't like it in the beginning, but then she bought it, and every time she wore it, I was like, wow, this thing is good. And this is a fresh, very, very like floral kind of fragrance. It has lots of different pinkish sweet flowers in it. It is such a complex fragrance that I feel like I'm in a garden, a fancy Rome garden. It reminds me of Italy now because I bought this when I was in Italy. I spent 1 month of my life in Italy in 2016, and I got 3 fragrances when I was there. All the 3 of them are like in my top 6 now, so this is 6th place, and I got this when I was there, and it's so dear to my heart because it reminds me of the entire period that I was there in Italy, and it is, wow, it is indescribably good, this thing. Okay, next. So this is one of the perfumes that I got in my 15-year-old birthday. I bought it because of the comments that I was reading on its page. However, I did not know the fragrance. I kind of like bought it blind, you know, like as in you did not know the stuff before you bought it. And when it arrived, I hated it. In the first moment, I just hated it. I could not stand the thing because I felt like I was, like it smelled like a salted kind of stuff. And I wanted a sweet fragrance, and it smelled like salt to me, or something salted. But over time, it kind of evolved into something so much more. like wine and black orchid. I know there is black orchid in this thing, and I don't know, something so exotic. I dare not try to say what it is, but it makes me feel like the most confident person in the planet. And this one, there was not a single time from the very first time that I bought it, that I got it, that I would use this thing and do not get compliments, like, especially from guys. I think there are like pheromones in this or something close to that, because I do not know a single man that does not love this thing and think that it's a little bit too much. You know, everybody's like, wow, it's so much to the point that I do not feel very comfortable by using this, because, you know, they will ask way too much. What are you wearing? You know, what perfume is this? And what are you wearing? Is this the way that people ask about people's fragrances? I'm not so sure, because I've never been to the Americas, so my English is all like movie acquired, you know? So I don't know how people ask about other fragrances in America. Probably, what are you wearing? I think this goes for clothes. Anyway, so I'm talking about Euphoria by Klein. This is my second bottle. My first one was the 100 ml 3.3 kind of version, and this one is the 1.7 50 ml version, and it's in the middle now. And I like to use this like proms or very fancy events, or when I want to like kill someone by the way I smell. That's when I use it. I keep it for these occasions, which are like very rare. Oh man, this is something else. This is something else. It's like I feel, okay, how do I feel when I smell this? So, you know Selena Gomez's song, When You're Ready, Come and Get It? So this fragrance, when I smell it, I just listen in my head, all that drums in the beginning, because it's so exotic, something like from India, like the dark orchid or the black orchid, or something very unreachable and very eerie and very like otherworldly awesome. Is the way this smells. I know I'm kind of complimenting this fragrance way too much, because that's how it makes me feel. Now, okay, my fourth place is one of my newest acquisitions, and it's Narciso Rodriguez for her Eau de Toilette version, as in the black one. Okay, and wow, this is something else. This is the most mature fragrance that I have. If I want to feel like, you know, I am 25, but people give me like 16, 17, sometimes even 15 years old. And when I do not want to feel 15 years old, I just use this, because it makes me feel like I'm 40. And in the best way possible, like I am the boss. Again, let's compare this to songs. If I'm comparing my fragrances to songs, so this one is Neo Miss Independent, you know? I feel like the boss. I feel like the boss when I use this. And it's so nice. It's sweet. However, there is something inside this, almost, I'm not so sure about the word to say for this, like whimsical or very, okay, I'm looking for the words. I'm not the best in this, okay, because I'm not American, but let's find the word. I'll come back when I find it. Well, I found the word, and it's spice, as in spicy. That is it. It is whimsical, woodsy, spicy. This thing is so spicy and so awesome and strong and long-lasting and confident. I love to travel with this, like with my bags, and feeling very confident and high heels and boss, you know? This is what it makes me feel like. I love this fragrance. It was love at first sight. Not because I saw the bottle, but because, you know, I smelled the fragrance and it was love at first whiff. Okay, so next one is yet another that I got when I was in Italy. I've shown you Miss Dior Eau de Parfum. This is Miss Dior Eau de Toilette. But the difference is, this is the original Eau de Toilette, because I bought it in 2016. December of 2016, so, no, November 2016. So, this is the original one. And the new one, I didn't like it very much. So, I have like probably 10 ml left of this thing and I will not use it. I just will not use it. I will not bring myself to use it because I can't. I feel, I feel like this thing is so amazing. This is one of the all-time favorite fragrances that I've ever used. So it's just, in every single way, it makes me feel like I'm in the middle of a field of dreams, and with all my favorite books and all my favorite experiences, because it is so magical. It's just so magical. This thing makes me feel pretty and confident and like there is no woman like me, you know? Yet at the same time, it makes me feel like most girls. It's again like that Haley Steinfeld kind of song, And it's perfect. It has patchouli, and the patchouli is so well labored, and this is so well made. It's so well brought that it just makes me feel like I never want to leave the side of this. Again, I cannot explain it to you. It's the feeling. It just brings me to the feeling that I'm in the middle of a Kate Morton book, in the middle of a very European, in the middle of a European garden, very picturesque and very like I'm in the book or I'm in like a painting, a classic painting. It's just it talks to me about other worlds and eras and places, and it's so beyond amazing that I am enamored by this. Okay, next up, I can kind of tell that you are seeing all of them back there. Doesn't matter. So, this is my all-time favorite Brazilian fragrance. It's called Linda from O Boticário. This is my third bottle of this perfume. And what can I say? This is the one perfume that made me chase over the lady. The one that I got in my 15-year-old birthday. A cousin of mine gave it to me. Not this bottle, this one I bought for myself, but the very first one that I got. It was actually even different. It was like squared bottle, and they just, remade the bottle. Thank goodness they did not remake the fragrance. It's still the same, and it is undescribable. I cannot even begin to try. It's such a complex fragrance. It has so many different notes in it. Like, it's like a book. You're just like, wow, and it has patchouli. It has to have patchouli. I'm not so sure now, but it has to have. It's a favorite of mine, but it does have like almonds and flowers and I don't know, it's a powdery fragrance, and it makes me feel, if I could describe the feeling, I would have to tell you that I feel like I am swimming in a pool or in a lake of flowers. It's very volatile, and yet at the same time it's long lasting, and it does have flowers, but it's not like a common ordinary flowers, like another worldly good smelling flower, like orchids and lilies and sunflowers, and it's so amazing. I can't try to begin. And this is a Brazilian fragrance, okay? So if you ever come to Brazil, or if you're Brazilian, you should definitely smell this thing. It's again a compliment getter, and etc and so on. So my all-time favorite, my last one, wow, this is the one. And I am talking about Coco Mademoiselle Chanel the Eau de Toilette version, because this one that I've shown you before, this one, it's the Eau de Parfum, and this one is the Eau de Toilette, and I like the Eau de Toilette better. This is the third one that I bought when I was in Paris, when I was in Italy in 2016, and wow, I can't even, this one thing, it's the one perfume that gets myself acting crazy. Legit. I will be coming home smelling myself, like with my nose in my arm, because I cannot bring it to separate it from my arm, because it's so addictive the way this thing smells. It smells like all of the other fragrances that I've just told you about. Like, it is sensual, it is confident, it is fresh, it is sweet. It is summertime, it is wintertime, it is everything. It is like most girls, and it's like it makes you feel like you're the one and only girl in the galaxy, and yet, like most girls, it's just, it's so good. And I just, well, probably I'll have another one of these because I am planning to go to Italy again this year, and well, I will use this all the time when I'm there because I'm pitiful to use this. Well, I have it since November of 2016, and still I haven't used the whole thing because I feel like, oh my goodness, I feel so pitiful of using this little SB because, well, I don't know, it has to be something beyond special, so I'll be using this. But I'll buy another one, hopefully, if I go to Europe again this year. Hopefully. Hopefully. So, this was my perfume collection. I have 22 perfumes, and I love perfumes. It's one of the things that I kind of love buying. When I smell perfume that I really like, I'm just like, oh, I need to have this, I need to have this. And I never feel like it's too expensive on a perfume. I don't know, there are stuff that I'm like, wow, I'm not the kind of girl that goes for clothes or, clothes. As you can tell, I have like my like the shirt of Monday, of every single Monday, of the Tuesday, but I'm not like this with perfumes. I'm gonna be the girl that's always gonna get complimented on her fragrance, and that's the kind of girl that I choose to be. And that is good, I think. And thank you all for watching, and subscribe to my channel if you want, and I make different kind of contents. It's not like a fashion channel or like a fragrance channel or like anything really. It's just a fun channel that I like to have fun in, and I'll do lots of crazy videos. I'll probably be launching 4 soon, so yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!